During this video, we are going to show you how to name bases. First of all, we have to understand what is a base. Bases or hydroxides are those compounds that have the polyatomic ion OH in its formula, okay? So every time that you have a metal or a polyatomic cation plus the OH, we are going to be calling it a base, okay? The way to name bases is very easy. What we have to do is we have to write the name of the metal, including Roman numbers in case that we have a transition elements, and then add the word hydroxide. So it's quite simple. For example, here we have an AOH. We just write sodium and the word hydroxide. Here we have magnesium and hydroxide. And here, for example, ammonium hydroxide, okay? The only thing that we have to be careful is that if we have a polyatomic ion in the metal, okay, what we have to include is a Roman number indicating the charge that has, or the oxidation number that has the metal, okay? So let's make some examples. Okay, the three of them in this case are going to be bases, so we just write bases, okay? Why? Because in the first one we have OH, here we have the word hydroxide, and here we have OH. Every time that we have either the word hydroxide or the symbol OH, it's a base. We do not have classifications as in acids or as in salts that we have binary salt, tertiary salt, or hydroacid, oxyacid. In this case, all of them are going to be bases, okay? Now let's, in the first example, let's write the name. I know that Cu stands for copper, okay? I know that since copper is a transition element, okay, I have to include in parentheses the charge in Roman number, okay? So I will have copper and then some charge and the word hydroxide. So the only thing that I have missing is the charge. If I go to my chart periodic table, here I have that copper can take two charges. It's either +1 or +2. So I have to define for this example, which is a charge that copper is taking, okay? Since in this case, we do not have any number indicating that we have a charge of +2, we will add here a number 1. This is easy to find out because we know that OH has a charge of -1, okay? So in this case, copper must have taken a charge of +1 in order that by the time that I add the coefficients of the each one of the elements, the sum of my charges gets or gives 0, okay? In the next one, we have lead 2 hydroxide. I know that in my formula, since I have hydroxide, I will have an OH. And lead, the symbol stands for Pb, okay? But I have to check the charges because here we have in Roman numeral a number 2. So in this case, let me just erase this circle. Okay, we have Pb with a charge of +2. This +2 is the one that we have here in parentheses. And hydroxide, I know that it's OH, and that has a charge always of -1. As we said previously in the previous videos, the sum of the charges, sorry, it has to be with yellow, okay? The sum of the charges of this +2, this +2, okay, the sum of my charges has to be 0. Since in this case, +2 minus 1 is not 0, what I will do is I will cross the charges. I will pass the number, not the sign, to the corner of the other element. Okay, so in this case, this 2 will go here, this 1 will go here. So my final formula will be PB 1 OH 2. Be careful. When we are passing this number 2, I have to include parentheses, because if I do not include the parentheses, the number 2 will only affect the H and not the oxygen, and it won't be a correct formula. Okay, so every time that you are switching or that you are crossing charges, remember to add parentheses in case that you have more than one element. Okay, so the formula for this compound will be PbOH2. Okay, and finally, the third example that we have here, it says MgOH2. Okay, I know that it's a base because we have an OH in the formula. The only thing that I have to write is the name. Magnesium is, Mg stands for magnesium. Okay, so I will write magnesium. Since magnesium is not a transition element, we do not have to add the charge in Roman numeral, because magnesium is an element that is not in the transition area. So this will be just magnesium hydroxide. And that's it. I hope that with this video you understand perfectly how to name bases.